And get everybody set up here on Zoom. All right, so let's see. Okay. All right, so I think I am live on Facebook as well. So welcome to this Circle of Light meditation. Okay. So I wanted to talk about, how we can connect with light and guidance, for hope, for healing, for information on what's going on, because we need that help. So, general assessment of the energies these days is it's intense, right? There's a lot of we're kind of getting tired of just dealing with all this stuff, and I think myself included, it can be like, oh man, we got to keep dealing with this. Like, why does this keep coming up? We're just getting it's kind of exhaustion, and so um, you know when we feel an emotion, it never works to try to just ignore it and push it away. That never works. It's not a good idea because it's going to come up somehow. I like to use the analogy of a volcano, and when there's a volcano that wants to erupt, if it's not given, if it doesn't have the outlet to erupt from the top, it's going to come out the side. It's going to erupt somewhere. The energy's got to get out, and so for me, that shows up as anger. That type of energy, anger with there's towns around me going back into fear, bringing in some more mandates. There's people going back into fear. However, and well, let me just say, I've seen this in the Akashic Records, and it's still I see it happening now. That there's places with more restrictions and there's places with more freedom, and so it's like we kind of navigate around. Like, okay, I'm not going to go there. I'm going to go here. I'm not going to go there. I'm going to go here. I had I was triggered. Let's put it this way, because there's a area in my state where it's pretty medical freedom minded, and so that's where I've been going. We've been going for different things, and I saw that there was an event that had that the place that I thought was like minded that had some silly requirements. So it bothered me, and then I realized, like, well, why am I getting so bothered by this? And I actually connected with them, and they said, yeah, we don't want to do it. They it was a good conversation. Let's just put it that way. I feel like there's some hope, but I noticed that when some of these things start to affect us directly, we go into that place of just feeling that emotion and feeling, for me it was anger and frustration, and then just kind of like disappointment, just being disappointed, and in not just that situation, but in like humanity. So it's hard, it's impossible not to feel these things, and I still believe we're on the ascension pathway. I still believe that, and I feel very deeply that people are awakening. um you guys might find this funny. There's Joe Rogan. My husband listens to his podcast quite a bit. I don't listen to it much of anything. I listen to things that are uplifting. There's this one guy that I follow. He's pretty much the only person to listen to these days. His name's Tim Wild. He has this thing called Practical Ascension. I highly recommend checking him out. He's very intuitive. He always brings up to his higher perspective, and he sees what's going on. He knows what's up. But anyway, that Joe Rogan has been sharing some, real truth telling stuff. And I think Neil Young, the musician, said he was going to threaten to take his music off Spotify if they didn't remove Joe Rogan's podcast. And Joe Rogan has like 6 million followers. People are listening to this. So what does Spotify do? They remove Neil Young's music, which I thought was so funny. So, there's hope. It's like, well, all right, people don't, it's probably about money, but there's a lot. The people want to know. They want to know what's happening. They want to know what's going on. A lot of people may not agree with it. They may not understand it, but it's still happening. So it's really important to focus on hope, to know that there is hope, I believe, but also to allow ourselves to feel and process the emotions around it, because, it's hard, it's impossible not to. So I just got some energy healing today from my dear friend Cheryl, who helps me do different retreats, and we're doing a retreat in March. And she's just so gifted in so many ways. She's so intuitive. She cooks delicious vegan food. She does raw food as well, not all raw all the time. She knows about essential oils and just holistic everything, and I just very much trust her. And she's connected with my grandfather, the one who was the CIA whistleblower, he's a guide for me. Um, and it was just really healing. So I highly recommend, if you're feeling, heavy and you're feeling like just kind of despondent about everything, get some help from somebody. We all need help. I need help. We can't just always do it by ourselves. Sometimes, even when we do meditation and we're doing all the things we feel like we're supposed to do, sometimes we need somebody else to help pull it off of us. And I had been picking up with that situation of this place that I wanted to go hear a show, and then I heard they have these restrictions. I felt this like cloud come over me, of darkness. It was anger and sadness and disappointment and frustration. I was like, this isn't mine. If you feel like this isn't, it kind of sticks around, and there's some other things that we can really pick up on. Just the collective. There was somebody who ended his life, who right in my town, who wasn't from my town, but it happened in my town, and it was that really, that hit me hard. And it's like, oh my gosh, that type of despondency. It's not an easy time. So if you're feeling that, some heaviness or anything that isn't yours, you need to clear. Get some help. Get somebody to help you do that. Of course, I do that work. I'm happy to help. Hypnotherapy is a very powerful way to pull it off of us. Akashic Records can give you a higher perspective of what's happening and how to move through it. If you know anybody that does Reiki or any sort of, energy work, very, very powerful way to just get the energy off your body. Um, we need to just sit back and watch as things unfold and try to just have patience, but take care of ourselves in the process and really honor and nurture ourselves, because we're going through a lot. It's intense. It's that we're getting squeezed. And the more we feel the intensity, we feel the pressure, we feel things lifting in some places. And by the way, I do feel like that's happening. But the more we get squeezed, the more people feel that pressure, the more they start to awaken. There was somebody shared this quote, I think by Thich Nhat Hanh, who recently died. He crossed over, really well-known Buddhist monk. And he said something like, diamonds, coal rocks turn into diamonds when they're under pressure. Uh, there was another analogy. Let's use that one. There was another one, but like there's pressure creates light. It creates energy. It creates heat. So that's what we're seeing. Like, people need to feel that pressure. They need to see in certain places where there's a lot of fear, and then they start to awaken. So have hope. It's not everything. We all know nothing is as what it seems. So just because it seems like something's going backwards, it's not necessarily the case. And so the other thing I want to share, I was doing an Akashic Records reading for somebody the other day, and she was asking about this school that she sent her children to. It's a private school, Waldorf school, in another state in the U.S., not in Maine where I am, a state that has a lot of restrictions. So, and she was worried that they were going to force certain medical rules on our children, tell our children they had to, get themselves injected with secret mystery substance if they were on to go to school. And she asked me, like, what do you see about that? Could they, how could they stay at the school? And so I went in and I just, reading the energy, and I didn't feel that. It felt like there was a lifting. It felt like there was a lot of love in that place. It felt like they were being protected. Not saying everybody is in that mindset, but some of the teachers really cared about these kids and what's best for them, and some of the parents really did. So I shared with her, and I was kind of surprised, because I would assume that in this particular state where there's been always tons of restrictions, that they were going to do that, but I didn't feel it. So I feel like, and I think, other people are saying this too, that things are shifting. There's a lifting from the COVID narrative, at least. And we're not even, I was talking to somebody today, we're like, let's not use that word, let's call it something else, let's call it this thing. So to not, that shall not be named, to not give it any more energy that it needs. That narrative is falling apart. People are awakening. And so the ones, secret bad guys, that's what my kids call them, the ones who think they control things are going to shift to something else. So whether it's the supply chain, we're seeing the truckers, and it's kind of cool what's happening, but and that people standing up. On the other hand, there could be a disruption of the food in the supply chain. I personally always believe to not go into fear, that our guides will always, our needs will always be provided for, whether it's we're sharing resources with people or just growing our own food, or there's places that we will be able to get what we need. Just trusting, trust. Don't, anything that is rooted in fear is not serving us, right? So just keep that in mind. Having said that, I'll probably stock up on some groceries this week just in case, but have some cash lying around just in case, but I'm not going to go crazy about it. All right, so let's do a little meditation to connect with some divine guidance. And I actually, before I took a little nap right before this, drove my daughter to dance class, went to get some energy healing today. I had called my business coach, and I've got to take my kids to this other, like a author's illustration book thing class for kids tomorrow. I'm driving all over the place. And so I was really tired, but I had this flower essence that my friend Brooke Thompson, who's a very gifted herbalist, she gave me. It's Datura, and I think I mentioned it last time. And I've had some really, it helps you travel to different realms. It helps you travel to different dimensions. So I recommend looking into it. Datura flower essence, and flower essence is a vibration. It's water. It captures the vibration of that flower, that plant. You wouldn't want to eat that plant by itself. I think it might be poisonous, actually. But last time I did that, I had this incredible, astral travel, and then had a few different really interesting interdimensional experiences. So what I wanted to do, so we'll see what happens for me, at least. Maybe you guys will pick up on that energy somehow when I guide you in the meditation. But I always connected with the energy for the week to come up with a theme for the meditation. And what came in today was ascended masters that wanted to connect with us. And there's some specific ones that probably want to come in and connect with us. As you may know, ascended masters are beings of light like Jesus, Buddha, Yogananda, Mary Magdalene, Mother Mary, Kuan Yin. They that once walked the earth, that once were human, but that ascended beyond the lower self, beyond the ego, and became enlightened. And so the reason they can help us so much right now is that they know what it's like to be human. It's hard stuff. And so they can give us some guidance. Today, when I was with Cheryl, we were talking about Paul the Venetian, who is who is an ascended master, became an ascended master. Maybe Thich Nhat Hanh is becoming an ascended master. Some say Martin Luther King is. So we're going to connect with the energy and with that figure. And maybe it's not an ascended master that comes in to connect with you. Maybe it's a spirit guide. Maybe it's an ancestor. Just see what you feel and allow that energy in. And there's a great book. I meant to bring it down, but it's upstairs, and so I will have to do it another time. But it's called the Angel Bible, or it's Communicating with Angels. And of course, I used to bring it to all our retreats, and I still do, but now I forget what it's called. It's by Susan Gregg. Angels, Ascended Masters, Saints, Gods, Goddesses, Deities, something about the angel and all those other beings, by Susan Gregg, Gregg. And if you can kind of flip through it, see pictures, see a description of that being, that divine being, and how they can help, and their qualities, and how you can connect with them. So I recommend checking that out. You can even just ask to be guided, flip through the book, see where your finger lands, and then and see who wants to connect with you. So, but for now, since you don't have that book probably in front of you, we're just going to see what energy comes in. So, all right, let's begin. Let's get a little bit closer here. So close your eyes. Take a deep breath in. Slow exhale out. Anchoring in to your body. Another deep breath, bringing in a lot of oxygen, a lot of energy into your upper body. Just keep expanding, feeling this beautiful opening in your heart and your lungs, and then slowly let the air out. Let your body sink, let your muscles relax. Slowly push the air out. One last deep, full breath in. Breathe into your belly. Bring this wave of air up into your heart and lungs and shoulder blades. Taking a little bit more. And then slowly let it flow out, letting go. Letting everything just go. Push it out at the bottom of the exhale if you can. Let it, all that stuck energy that we don't need, exhale it out of your body. Now just breathe naturally. Just notice how you're feeling. Do you feel calm? Do you feel peaceful? Do you feel jittery? Do you feel energy moving, flowing, or is it more stagnant or still? Notice your heart beating, pumping blood through your body. Notice your belly rising and falling with the breath. The belly expands and then deflates. And then does the same. Just this beautiful flow. Notice if your breath slows as you just become aware of it. And begin to breathe into your heart space. Next time you breathe in, feel that you're igniting a flame in your heart, and that flame is expanding. That flame is being fanned as if you're blowing on a fire, and it's spreading now through your body. And when you exhale, that light flows into your cells, into your bloodstream, being completely absorbed by your body. Energy begins to circulate. Feel this light now being activated, almost like a wheel that's being spun intentionally, and that's flowing, flowing, flowing. Feel that light getting stronger and stronger. Maybe there's sparks of color. And just imagine that you're stepping in to a chamber of light, or maybe you're stepping into a rainbow. What would that feel like? To be almost like there's a prism in your room, some prisms that a glass hanging fixture that filled with water. I have one of those, and when the light shines on them just the right way, there's a rainbow in the room. And imagine there's this big rainbow of light flowing through your body. And each color has a different quality and vibration. Red, green, yellow, purple, orange, pink, blue. Maybe different shades of those. As you scan and feel this light flowing, pick one color, pick one ray, just land on one right now. Just ask to be guided to the right one. Now feel that ray just pulsating and beaming through your body, as if it's like a giant flashlight that's just shining on your whole body, a spotlight, a ray of this beautiful color. Maybe it's a color of a piece of fruit or a flower. Or some other element of nature. Just feel that color washing through you. Being bathed in this color, in this ray of light. Begin to allow yourself to be drawn into that ray of light, into that beautiful color, as if you're just beginning to swim around in it, like swimming in a giant pool of this color of paint. It's the most healing, cleansing, completely plant-based paint. You're swimming around in it. And as you swim around in it, you pick up on a subtle energy of a being that embodies this color, that uses this ray to connect, to help others expand their consciousness. And this being may show up as an ascended master, as an ascended master with a human body that once walked the earth. Or this being may show up in a different way, or maybe just as light. But allow this being to take form, to take shape. This being who works with this ray, who embodies this ray of light, this color. And notice what they look like, what they feel like. Maybe they speak to you with a word or just a telepathic feeling you get. Just take a moment and connect. Greet this being. Thank them for being here. Just take a moment here. Are they male? Are they female? What are they wearing? Color hair? What's the expression on their face? Maybe you pick up on some of this and maybe you just feel it. Just imagine, what if I were to see something, what might it be? Just allow anything to float into your mind. Sometimes the ego comes in. Just clear that ego away and come back to light. And now begin to just connect deeply through your heart. The beam of light is now deeply flowing from your heart to this beautiful master's heart, or this being's heart. Beam of light connecting your hearts. Ask this being, why are you here for me? Why are we connecting? What are you here to teach me? What can I learn? Any of those questions. And just notice what floats in as a response or a feeling or an image. And you can ask more questions, just describing maybe an issue you have in your life or something you're struggling with, and then asking how, what, why question. How can I move through this? What can I do to heal? Or why is this happening? Whatever you want to ask. When you describe the feeling, it calls up the energy. When you ask the question, it focuses the energy. So take a moment and just notice what floats in your mind after you ask. Just ask and open to receive. You can ask for a name, see what comes up. And now this being, this master, this guide has a gift for you. So receive this gift and notice there's a word this being, this guide has for you to go along with the gift. So receive this gift and this word of guidance, of wisdom now. It's a parting gesture. And just giving thanks, honoring yourself, honoring this guide, thanking this master for being here. Bring your hands in prayer position to your heart center, over your heart, whatever feels right to you. Taking a deep breath in, exhaling out, and remembering that this connection can always be had, that sometimes we often just need to ask for help and opening up and to receive that which is there for us with our free will, saying, yes, I want to receive this. Yes, I welcome this in. So I would recommend when we're done with this in just a moment, writing down what came up. And if you haven't opened your eyes yet, you can open your eyes, stretching out, coming back in your body. And then just maybe touching your head, touching your shoulders, giving yourself a nice hug, just, anchoring back in, touching your legs. Here you are, still here. And just connecting in. So I hope that was helpful in some way. I picked up on an interesting, well, I'll tell you what I picked up on, but before I do that, I'd love to hear if you want to share what you picked up on. I can see somebody, hi, in Facebook, and if you want to share in Zoom or even on Instagram, I think you can do that. Anything you want to share about what you noticed? Oh, you came from love and you will return to love. Oh my gosh, that is so beautiful. I love that. Thank you, Julia. My phone's slipping. So, yeah, I picked up on a person. Maybe it was Paul the Venetian. I'm not familiar with him, but he was like in a tunic, like a white tunic with sandals, and there was something about painting. He gave me a pen, wanted me to write, but it was also about creativity and painting. And my color was orange, which makes sense because that's the sacral chakra, creativity, expression. I've been getting a lot of that nudging. So, cloak of protection was given to me. That's beautiful, Julia. I love that's so beautiful. That's like Archangel Michael energy a little bit there. So speaking of this creativity and expression, that's actually what Cheryl and I are going to be doing at this retreat in March that we're hosting called Embody Your Highest Self. It's a winter retreat, March 4th to 6th, on this beautiful ocean-side home on the ocean, right on the ocean in Freeport. There's a fireplace in there. We're going to be, the theme, we just talked about it today, and I just came to me, I was like, well, we need to do emotional release. We need to release our emotions. So we're going to be doing painting. I actually have some canvas and paints. We're going to paint just anything like colors that come to us, just make it look like, some mess. It'll be a mess of colors just to get it out. And then we'll do a raw cacao ceremony invoking Gaia, the Mother Earth, such beautiful, powerful energy in that beautiful, warm drink of cacao, very healing. We'll be connecting with ascended masters there, with archangels, doing some hypnotherapy to help release and reprogram, and just really nurturing ourselves. We've been through so much. It's like we've had the SHIT kicked out of us for the past 2 years, and we need to just receive some healing, some light, just allow ourselves to come into to not only release, but to reset, to renew. And so, you guys, some of you know what I do, but if you don't know what Cheryl does, she is just mean, I go to her. I'm bringing my kids to her next week. She's very gifted. She's very nurturing. She's very loving and motherly, and so we balance each other out. Um, I bring the more masculine side. She brings the more feminine side, and it's just and she prepares this absolutely amazing, nourishing vegan meals. They're going to be warm because it's cold, so we want to like nourish our bodies with that Ayurvedic energy. So it's just going to be, time to really replenish ourselves and be feel nurtured and held with other like-minded people. So there's still a few spots. There's 2 spots left for the day, and there's I think 3 maybe left, or maybe more than that. A few more. I can't remember how many I said there. How many beds there were for the overnight. So if you're interested, I very much encourage you to check it out. We don't get a chance to go to retreats these days that are free and easy. I mean, like free as in freedom minded. And if you're looking for that, then this is going to be the one we do for the winter at least. So, all right, I'll put the link in at some point. But you can find it on my webpage, soulfulworkconsulting.com. It's right there on the homepage. All right, I'm going to go. Many blessings. Much love to you all. Thanks for being here. We're doing it. We're shifting consciousness. Be kind to yourself. Be gentle to yourself. You're doing amazing stuff. So we just got to be patient and ride the wave. All right. Oops. Bye, everyone. Take care.